Hey guys, welcome to the Sinner Djokovic Wimbledon Semifinal live stream. Djokovic serving first. This will be a very interesting match for so many reasons. A lot on the line over here. This is, in the absence of Alcaraz, the best thing that tennis has to offer. Djokovic starts off with a wide serve, misses it. Second serve. Djokovic with a very hard, very hard second serve into the body of Sinner. 15-love. That has been the most improved shot of Djokovic to serve. He's serving better than ever. His serve speeds have gone up. They're currently around 120. First serve average speed, 119. That's what it was in his previous match against FAA. There he serves 127 into the corner. This improvement in his serve has allowed him to, first and foremost, keep the points shorter, get service winners and aces. But on top of that, off the first serve, he's in control of the rally, has to run less. And at his age of 39, even though he's incredibly fit, I mean, he's just a specimen. I think the greatest athlete in the history of all sports at the age of 39. Okay, I'm going to go that far. I'm going to say it. All sports. You tell me another 39-year-old in any other sport that has done what Djokovic has done. I don't know. I can't find one. But the serve is a big reason why he's still here. Because let's face it, at this stage of the tournament, he's had trouble, physical troubles against Alcaraz and against Sinner. But this is grass. It's a little bit different. The circumstances are a little bit different. We'll discuss them in great detail. Djokovic with another great serve out wide, 40-15. How this one will turn out depends on so many different factors. Nice hold there from Djokovic. First and foremost, I am guessing that Sinner will find this top level here, but will he? It's not a guarantee. I mean, we've seen it in the past that he's able to find his best tennis at the most important stages of tournaments. He's a great champion, and this is what champions have in common. They find their best tennis when it comes to the semifinals, finals of a tournament against the best players. But this is not like a true statement across the board. I mean, it's not a guarantee. So Sinner might not find his best tennis. If that's the case, I think this is a great chance for Djokovic to beat him. If he builds up a lead, I think the first set is going to be very important. And I do think Djokovic has a chance to take out Sinner. Now, if Sinner plays his best tennis, I think it's going to be difficult for Novak. Maybe not in the first set, but I think once you get towards the late stages of the second set, and then, of course, for the rest of the match, it's going to be a physical challenge to withstand the power from the baseline of Sinner and to be able to hang in there in the rallies. It's going to take a physical toll, and Novak spent a lot of time on the court this week, especially in his last match against FAA, 5 hours and 15. So we shall see. Of course, as I've discussed in many previous videos, the first serve percentage of Sinner is like a huge factor. And the serve has been good. Despite Sinner not being anywhere near his best, he has been serving well from the first round to the semifinals. And that's a nice first point on the Sinner service game. Knocks off the overhead there. He has improved his serve tremendously. And it's been good in this tournament. So, again, I'm expecting Sinner to pick up his game and to start playing a lot better. So we shall see. If they close the roof, it's over for Novak. Look, I agree that would be an advantage for Sinner, 100%. But just like I said with FAA, like FAA, I think top 3 indoor player in the world, but who has had the best success indoors in the history of tennis is Djokovic. So Djokovic is incredibly good indoors. So I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. A lot of people are discussing the heat. It's hot in London, and people are worried about if you're a Sinner fan, people are worried about Sinner and the heat. If you're a Sinner hater, you think he's gonna melt out here in the heat. And my viewpoints are clear. I've made several videos on this. I've discussed this in depth. Nice serve there from Sinner down the tee. Even if Sinner has physical problems here in the heat, I'm not going to change my opinion on Sinner in the heat, because I'm just looking at this whole career, and he's done quite well in the heat. That's all I say. He's not perfect in the heat, but he's done quite well. So the chances of him doing well in the heat based on previous performances are way higher than the chances of him collapsing in the heat. You're talking about a ratio of like probably 100 to 4 of him doing okay in the heat versus him not doing so well. So it's up to you to, analyze that ratio how you will. But I'm thinking that despite him not liking the heat, he does quite well in it. So for that reason, I don't think it would be a factor today. But it could. There's a small chance that it could. It's a beautiful point there from Djokovic. Wide serve. And a beautiful backhand cross-court winner. 15-love. Beautiful serve there from Novak. Ace down the tee. Novak serving exceptionally well early in this match. DB says that 70% for the tournament. I think you talk about Sinner, right? For percentage of first serve in. Yeah, he's been serving well in this tournament. Exceptionally well. Both guys serving well early in this match. So think about it. Like if Sinner finds his ground game and he serves like this, he's going to be tough to beat for everyone, including Djokovic and Alcaraz. Like that level of Sinner is tough. There's the inside-out return winner from Sinner. 15-30. There's another thing that Sinner is very good at, which is the return of serve. Ranks number 1 in the return stats. Which, by the way, I better take a look at that. I haven't looked at it since the Roland Garros. I better take a look at the return stats before I make statements. I want to make sure they're accurate. And a backhand error from Sinner, 40-15. Take a look at the stats real quick. Yeah, he's still number 1. But you know who's number 2? Number 2 is Hodar. How about that? I'll read you the stats in a second. That's a hard-hitting rally, Novak Djokovic. It's like he does one of his losing balance things back there. They're very fun to watch. He looks like an acrobat when he does that. And Djokovic holds 2-1. So here's the return stats, ATP Tour. Jannik Sinner, number 1. Hodar 2, Cerundolo 3, Alcaraz 4. That's because he hasn't been playing. Because Alcaraz was 2 normally. Navone 5, Baez 6, Medvedev 7, de Minaur, who used to be number 1 on this list. He, like 2023, de Minaur was number 1 in the returns. Maybe at some portions of 2024 as well. de Minaur 8, Djokovic 9, Tien 10. Now we can keep going, but and the one stat that's the most important, I think, here is return games won. And this is where Sinner dominates with 32.3 of return games won. 32.3% of return games won. And now you add on top of that that he has the best hold game. You just combine those two stats, and you understand why Sinner is ranked number 1 in the world, why he's won every single Master Series tournament this year. But having said that, I still feel that Djokovic is so good. He can find a way to win this. I think I'm still sticking with Sinner in this one. I predicted Sinner prior to the tournament starting. I think Sinner comes through. I think it's going to be difficult, but Djokovic is so good. He can beat him. You know, because there's never been a player in the history of tennis that can find the little gaps in a match to score a victory, like figuring out how to win a match, winning the crucial points. That's what Novak is so good at that. It's incredible. Like using different ways of finding ways, you know. But he's just so incredibly good at these clutch moments in a match. And that's how he was able to beat Sinner in Australia. Sinner should have won that match. He had breakpoint chances in the 5th set, but Djokovic was just too clutch. So we shall see. 15 all. With a forehand error from Sinner. More errors have come. Again, I would love to look at the stats on this. I don't have those. I should have probably compiled them. Maybe I'll do that for my wrap-up video. But it's my feeling that more errors have come on the forehand side from Sinner if you add up all the matches. Forehand's been a little bit off. And also, I don't see him going for the backhand down the line as much as during that Masters 1000 rampage. I don't see that, you know, that one that he hits from the middle over here, like that inside out. It's like his go-to backhand. I haven't seen that one that much. So the ground game has been good, but hasn't been like normal Sinner level, I would say. And my guess is he's going to find that level here. Because you know what it is? You know, this is these players that we're seeing here, they're so good at every aspect of the game, from the physical to the technical to the mental. And Sinner just deep inside feels that what he needs here. He's got to go do extra. Everything's got to be extra good. So that he knows that. He feels that. Because he knows who's on the other side of the net. And I feel that Djokovic will bring out the top level of Sinner in this one. A Sinner, very solid hold. And I think you're going to see more winners. We're going to see less errors in this match compared to all the other matches that he's played prior to this one at Wimbledon. Nick, have you seen the recent Alcaraz footage? Yes, of course. I've seen it. With the racket that's like, it's like sawed off right here like this. Yeah, I saw it. He's still not hitting. Nick, stop daydreaming. That's funny. I like that ATP 10101. Yeah, that clip of Alcaraz has been in my head. Like, I don't want to, I'm thinking about doing a little reel on that, but I don't have the time right now. But I like that actually. But he's waiting on confirmation from the doctor to start training for real. Because he hasn't been training yet, Alcaraz. It's a big serve from Novak right there down the tee. 120. 30 love. And I don't know about Montreal and Alcaraz. You know, I don't know. What did he say he's not going to play it? I didn't hear anything about that. It's a double fault from Novak there at 30 love. He's not playing Canada. It's been confirmed. That makes sense. If he's not been training yet, that tournament's coming very soon. If he hasn't hit a ball yet, it makes sense. It's been a long absence from Alcaraz. We need Alcaraz back, but we want him to come back when it's the right time, not come back too early and re-injure potentially. It's the best rally so far of this match, and it's quite windy, I think. That's what it looked like. But this is a type of rally that's going to be tough to sustain physically for Novak with Sinner ripping hard, because that's going to take a lot out of Novak to be able to stay with Sinner in rallies like this. And that's where I see Sinner coming through this match. 30 all. It's going to be the break point or game point. Let's see what serve Djokovic comes up with. Wide serve to the Sinner forehand. And again, Sinner ripping from the baseline, putting a lot of pressure on Novak. Novak holding his own. Sinner going very deep with the backhand cross-court forehand. Down the line forehand, Djokovic is running. Overhead for Sinner is converted and break point Sinner. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Is this pressure that Sinner puts on Djokovic that is going to destroy Djokovic physically over the course of a best-of-5 match. Now, of course, he can sustain and fight and stay there till the end. I'm not saying that like this means that Djokovic is going to, they're not going to be able to play. I mean, he survived Sinner in Australia, but that version of Sinner produced a little bit more mistakes. Like, I'm talking about a top-level Sinner. That's going to be a problem for Djokovic physically. Because Sinner was not at his top in Australia, for sure. That's a fantastic point for Novak right there. Down the line backhand from the corner. Sinner can't get to it. And Djokovic saves break point. Wide serve again. It's the second time in a row on the deuce side, and it works. It works. Add in. You know what's funny? With these last two serves that Djokovic has hit, I felt that Sinner has been giving a lot of return errors with his forehand. And maybe they scouted that. They did they looked at his matches, they scouted that. It's a nice hold from Novak. And it's very interesting that Novak directed both serves at 30 all and deuce to the Sinner forehand, because Novak generally likes to go T when he's at 30 all or deuce. He'll often go T. But he didn't here, because Sinner this tournament has been off a little bit with his forehand return. Although he returned well in the service game, it's interesting that Djokovic went in that direction 2 times in a row. Djokovic holds 3-2, no breaks so far. Nick isn't here yet. What are you talking about? Reba, I'm here. You don't see me? I'm here. I hope I'm here. Am I here? That's a good question. Am I here, guys? I certainly hope I am. Okay, I'm here, I guess. Good. You guys are confirming my presence. Nick, no one can say looking at Djokovic that he has played 16 plus hours already in this tournament. AO was just 8 hours by semis. Look, it's not like you're gonna see him out there like like exhausted, gas. These are all small percentages we're talking about that make a huge difference when guys like this face each other. It's a small percentage and energy level and feeling tired. It's hard to detect this. You might see it in the late stage, but it's hard to detect it now. It's a beautiful overhead there from Sinner. The high degree of difficulty on that shot. That was a good lob from Djokovic. Whom are you supporting today, Nick? No one. I'm neutral. I'm supporting the game of tennis. You guys are the ones that are either supporting Sinner and Djokovic, and that's fantastic. I like that, but I'm neutral on this one. I think it's going to be a good storyline if Djokovic wins or if Sinner wins in the final against Zverev. That's a nice down-the-line backhand from Novak. Sinner looking good with his movement. Good defense there, runs it down real quick. And Djokovic with the cross-court forehand drop shot. It's not usually the drop shot that he attempts. His favorite drop shot is the down-the-line backhand drop shot. That's a lower percentage dropper for Novak, a cross-court forehand drop shot, not something that he does all the time. It's an ace for Sinner there, 128. 40 love. Second serve for Sinner. Up 40 love. And Djokovic overhits the backhand return. Love holds Sinner, 3-all. Vagnozzi and Cahill matching, as always. I like that. That's so cool. And they're wearing the same shirt Sinner is wearing. I like that. Big serve from Novak down the tee. Good return from Sinner, though. Now they're in a rally. Sinner slips a little bit. Djokovic rips into the forehand corner of Sinner and puts away the Djoko smash. Sinner does get a racket on it, but can't control it. 15 love. How does Djoko look so far? Looks like playing great tennis. Both guys playing well. Sinner had that one breakpoint chance in Novak's last service game, but it's been very even so far. Djokovic ripping hard into the forehand corner of Sinner. Draws the error, 30 love. Big serve from Novak down the tee. Sinner can't get it back in play, 40 love. Just exceptional serving. Double fault from Djokovic. This is the second double fault today. He hit one at 30 love in a previous service game. And this time he does it on 40 love. Not a bad time to double fault at 40 love. But he's going stronger on that second serve today. The tactics are on point for Novak on the serve. Like, he can't just roll that second serve in like he might be able to do against other players. Against Sinner, you have to be careful. Ace out wide for Novak, and he's up 4-3. Very even so far, this first set. Now, if you guys remember last year's match against Novak, Novak wasn't 100% fit because they played semifinals last year. And Sinner won, if I remember correctly, it was in 4 sets. Let me check the score real quick. It was straight sets, sorry. 6-3, 6-3, 6-4. Sinner beat Djokovic. And Djokovic had beaten Kaboli in the round before, and it did something to his, I think he did something to his leg. If I remember correctly, there was some kind of injury because there was a tight 4-set victory, and Novak wasn't 100% fit in that particular match. So we can't really go by that too much. And then, of course, Sinner beat Alcaraz in the final, lost the first set, and then won 4-4 and 4. But, you know, when it comes to these big-time players, generally, you can't really go too much by what happened the previous match or in the previous year. Not too much. It's with them, it's like they're so good mentally. You can't really draw any conclusions from that. Like, it's not like, you know, Sinner beats Alcaraz, that means Sinner is going to beat Alcaraz again. Well, not necessarily. You know, it's hard. And the same applies for Djokovic as well. Sinner with the big serve down the tee, big forehand into the backhand corner of Djokovic, 15 love. At T-Scoded says, Nick, do you think some players may slightly gain or lose confidence depending on who the umpire is? Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think so. I don't think so. But I couldn't tell you. I don't know. That's a tough one to say. If you've never been in that scene and that level, playing with these tour level umpires, I don't know the insides of that. But certainly maybe you don't like an umpire. Maybe it could have an effect potentially, but I don't know. I really don't know. I think now in the era of Hawkeye and everything, I think the players back and forth with the umpire has decreased a lot. I mean, remember the McEnroe era with no electronics whatsoever? That was insane. Very entertaining, I might say, but there was a whole different connection to the umpiring. There's that down the line backhand from Yannick. I haven't seen it too much this week. And a nice volley from Yannick. He went twice down the line with the backhand there. That's a shot that I didn't see too much so far in this tournament, but there it is. It's a very important shot for Yannick because he is the best. As good as Novak is with the down the line backhand, and Novak, I mean, listen, I would say Novak has the greatest two-handed backhand of all time, but the down-the-line backhand from Yannick is a little bit better because it has more RPM. Down-the-line backhands are naturally flatter, so they have less RPM compared to cross-court backhands. This applies to everyone across the board, including Sinner. However, Sinner has high RPM, higher than most players. I think Casper Ruud and some other guys have also high backhand RPMs, but Sinner's backhand RPM is high. However, he has a low trajectory, so he has to go lower, And he has a high RPM on the down the line backhand as well. So for that reason, when he goes down the line, it's not as much of a low percentage shot as it is for most players. And that's what makes it so incredibly difficult to deal with, you know? You guys are hilarious with the umpire bathroom breaks. There's the down the line again from Jannik, and he gets an error from Novak. That shot is so important for Jannik, the down the line backhand. Law 15. Novak will have to pull out some amazing serves here to get out of this service game. Oh, looks like the entire team is wearing the same outfit. They showed all 5 in the Sinner box. That's cool. No white hats, by the way. Sinner doesn't like it when they wear white hats. I heard him say that because it's bad luck. So they're wearing a white shirt with the black hat. A big serve from Novak right there, 15-all. Another big serve from Novak. It's a high ball in response, but Sinner with the chance on the backhand. He comes in and knocks off the forehand. You know, that was one of those like high ball forehands that's normally a winner for Djokovic. Like the ball like was looped here. Djokovic had the chance to rip a winner, but Sinner was sneaking over here, guessed correctly, and he hit a backhand from over here, you know, hard into the forehand corner of Novak, and was able to put pressure on him. Ended up, you know, getting a short ball from Novak and put away the forehand cross court. Incredible point from Sinner. Great defense. And again, like the ability to hit these backhands from way outside the court is remarkable. You know, I would say Djokovic is the same in that regard. Like Sinner, Alcaraz, and Djokovic, their backhands from defensive positions are incredible. They can hit it so hard. That's a very difficult shot to pull off. Deep ball from Sinner. He goes cross court, puts Djokovic on the run, and draws the error, 15-40. Sinner overpowering Djokovic in that rally. Hey, Nitraj, good to see you in here. Where can I watch it for free? I don't know, man. Don't ask me. Internet search would do the trick, I think, but not recommended. Watch it on ESPN, man. Big serve from Novak. Deep return from Jannik. Forehand cross court. Again, down the line backhand. Slice from Novak on the forehand side. Deep forehand from Jannik overhead. Misses it into the net and stares up into the sky as to say that he couldn't see the ball because of the sun. Fortunate for Novak there. Play good defense though. That's why it's always worth it to, you know, fight and pop those balls up into the air. You never know. But that's not an easy overhead. That thing was very high. First serve from Novak. Comes in with the forehand, and Sinner with the down the line backhand passing shot winner. Sinner breaks 5-4. I don't know. Can you say that Djokovic did something wrong on this rally? Well, maybe didn't hit that forehand hard enough, but that Sinner backhand, that defensive backhand of Sinner, you know, I had a question mark about it. I had a question mark about Sinner's baseline game. But you can see, as I said in the beginning, like he's raised this level. I think Djokovic made him raise the level to where we're seeing normal Sinner now from the baseline, which is a nightmare to deal with. And he's up a break. We'll serve for the set at 5-4. Looking good today, yeah. Joe 6-5-1. Sinner's looking good, I agree. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. All right. Taken care of. Ace, Sinner. That's huge on the first point. You know, serving for the set, when you pull out an ace there, that's incredible. Out wide. Second serve, Sinner. Deep return from Djokovic there on the backhand. Draws the error from Sinner, 15-all. Another great wide serve from Sinner, right on the line. 30-15. Let's check something real quick here in the stats. Sinner serving at 71%. And Sinner, oh, these are incredible stats. I'll read them to you in a second, but this has been the key of the match so far. Okay, I'm gonna share some stats that are gonna blow you away if Sinner ends up serving this out. And a big serve out wide, swing volley. Too strong for Djokovic, 40-15. Don't think Djokovic has played a poor set, by the way. That's what makes it even more scary. It's just been too good from Jannik. The way he played in that return game at 4-all, those backhands down the line, it's been just too good. 40-15. Second serve. That's a nice backhand from Novak down the line. It's a very low and deep. 40-30. Guys, when I read you these stats, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. Second serve. Big serve from Yannick. Comes in with the forehand, and Novak Djokovic hits the forehand pass into the net. Here's the first set for Sinner, 6-4. So the problem for Novak in this set, and by the way, I don't think he's played a poor set. That's what's scary for Novak. That's how good Yannick has been. You know, Djokovic had 76% of first serves in play. Sinner had 67% of first serves in play. That's a good number for Yannick, 67%. But take a look at this. Djokovic has been good on his first serve. Like, he won 82% of his first serve points. However, he only won 29% of second serve points, meaning that now you know why he's serving a little bit faster and threw in a couple of double faults, because Yannick Sinner is feeling the return, the second return of serve. Like, he's at Ayala levels today on the second serve return. Just kidding, because Ayala is such a great second serve return on the WTA Tour. No, but Yannick has been very, very good on the second serve of Novak today. And Novak only won 29% of those points. On the other hand, Sinner has won 88% of first serve points and won 75% of second serve points. So Sinner won 75% second serve points. Djokovic only won 29% of second serve points. That's been the big reason for Djokovic losing serve in that 4-all game, and also facing break point in that previous game at 3-all, if I remember correctly. Was that 3-all? Let me check. That was at no, that was at 2-all. Yeah, at 2-all he faced break point, and then finally he got broken at 4-all. So Novak has to, I don't know, it's so tough. Like, he has to be riskier on the second serve. He has to go for the second serve. He has to go for it. And there's not much they can do on the Sinner serve. I mean, he can maybe try to alter his return positioning, go further back, you know, try to get into the service games of Sinner that way. But it will be tough for Novak. But that's assuming that Sinner continues to play like this, which probably not going to happen. There will be a natural little dips here and there, and that's where Novak can strike. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. Djokovic serving first, and we're going to rally right away. And Djokovic wins it. Some good hitting right there. 15-love. Now, random tennis gal, you're here. You're going to come back when Yannick wins the second and is up a break in the third? Okay. That's so funny. I was the same way with Rafa. I couldn't watch. I couldn't watch live. All right, here's a second serve from Novak. Okay, this has been a huge factor in this match. Let's see what he does. Does he go harder than normal? Yes, he does. 110. That's a risky second serve, 110. Then the location is T. That's more risk. Novak has to apply more risk on that second serve. He overcooks the forehand there. 15-all. How's Nola looking physically? Physically is fine. It's been more the you know, it hasn't been physical, the problems here. They've been you know, more let's say technical. Yannick on point today with his backhand. Look at that down the line backhand. It's working today. That thing is clicking today. 15-30. Gets another point off that shot. Big serve from Novak. Sinner so rock solid off the ground today, but he does miss a forehand there off a very deep ball from Novak. 30 all. Huge point right here. First serve misses a little bit wide. Second serve for Novak. Let's see what he does. Does he go harder than normal again? Rally. Backhand to backhand. And Novak Djokovic wins it this time with an exceptional cross-court backhand. Forces the error from Sinner. 40-30. I'm dressed like Team Sinner minus the black hat. Well, listen, I'm always decked out in Nike, so I could be like Team Alcaraz too. Big serve from Novak there and a big hold. Very good hold because Sinner is on fire today from the baseline. The showing last year, but again, last year I remember Novak wasn't 100% fit in that match. Not to say that he would have beaten Sinner. I'm not saying anything like that. I think he still would have lost that match, but yeah, he wasn't 100% fit. Then that miracle at Australian Open from Djokovic, that will be remembered as one of the greatest accomplishments in the history of tennis, him taking out Sinner. People don't talk about this victory enough from Novak. It's one of the most incredible things I've ever seen on the tennis court. In the context of Sinner going through that indoor rampage, and it's incredible. All right, Sinner serving. Let's see if he continues playing like he has been. Like I said a few minutes ago, it's natural even for someone like Sinner to go through some small little ups and downs. So we shall see. Djokovic misses the inside-out return. Gets jammed a little bit. 15 love. ASDF says, Nick, do you like Djokovic? He's from Yugoslavia. A former Yugoslavia. Yeah, of course. Of course. Of course I like Djokovic. Ace Sinner. Down the tee, 30 love. How does Sinner generate such power, Nick, when he's so quite slim? Well, you don't need big muscles to generate power in tennis. You need strong legs, but you don't need strong upper body. I mean, big muscles in the upper body to generate power in tennis. You don't. Fantastic forehand from Novak. 30-15. Inside out forehand winner. And Cahill is up on his feet there. Interesting. I always watch when Cahill and Vagnozzi goes on their feet, because that's usually an important momentum shift maybe in a match. Like something's happening that's very important, and those guys are up on their feet. I love that. It's like a dead giveaway for important moments of the match. Djokovic with a great down the line backhand there. Now it's 30 all. That's where he can do damage on Sinners with that down the line backhand. He's won quite a few points with that shot so far, Novak. He's got to continue to look for opportunities to go hard and deep with his backhand into the forehand corner of Sinner, because he is getting points off that play. 30 all. Let's see if the clutch server comes out with a big serve right here, 30 all. And he does. Monster serve down the tee and swing volley. That combo is lethal for Sinner. He's got, I can say confidently, the best swing volley on the ATP Tour. Of course, Alcaraz is a great swing volley too, but I think Sinner uses it more frequently. And he hits that thing WTA style, and that's a big compliment, because WTA players have the best swing volleys out of all tennis players, because they use them more than ATP players. 40-30, big serve in it out wide, and I thought he was going to do another swing volley, but he let it go. Ball went long. Very good hold from Sinner. I think, if you wonder, like, I always bring up the serve stats, and I call Sinner very, very often the best. I say that he has the best hold game. And if you want to know why, just this match so far, he's playing the greatest returner of all time, and he's like completely dominating him on his own service games. Djokovic has very few opportunities to get in deep into the Sinner service game. He had 30 all, I think, once or twice, and that's about it. Nice serve from Novak down the tee. Ace. 15 love. Another great serve from Novak there. Ace down the tee, 30 love. Djokovic tries to curl that forehand down the line, but misses wide, 30-15. It's even something like this is dangerous when you're serving against Sinner. Like, this is a big point right here, because you don't want a 30-all point against Sinner, especially if you miss your first serve. But first serve percentage is key for Novak. That's a nice point there, 40-15. Any small dip in the Novak service games, you got a feeling like Sinner is going to be all over him. So he's going to have to play like exceptionally well to hold serve, Novak. Kick from Novak. Let's see if he can win this point off that kick. He doesn't. I'm telling you, like, if Novak just kicks it, that was 94 miles an hour. That's like a normal second serve that'll work against the rest of the tour. Maybe not against Alcaraz, but against the rest of the tour, it'll work. Against this level of Sinner, you kick at 94, and you have a humongous chance to lose the point, even if you're Novak Djokovic. And that's what makes playing Sinner so scary. That's a big serve right there. 119 down the tee. And Djokovic holds. 2-1. Now, a lot of you guys have talked about, like, Djokovic's fitness in this one, you know, and that was a question mark after he has spent so many hours on the court. But like I said in the intro, that you might not see this at all, or you might not see this until maybe like deep into the match, like fourth set, fifth set, if it comes to that. But yet there might be an effect where it's like small percentages in energy levels, and you know, there might still be an effect even though you can't see it on Djokovic. I can't detect anything. Obviously, I think he's playing well. It's just Sinner is like too good right now, and Djokovic is doing quite well in this match. But yet there still might be something like, you know, just a little energy discrepancy from the normal Djokovic level. I make an effort to like listen to Novak as much as I can, to all players, and to try to understand him as well as I can. And he's mentioned several times that this has been his biggest problem. So even like, I hope you understand what I'm saying. So even if he loses like that US Open semi against Alcaraz, like the match wasn't demanding at all physically. A big serve from Jannik there. That match was not demanding, but the energy level of Djokovic going into that match was a tad lower, and that's why he had no chance in that one. It wasn't like he was gassed or exhausted, but he just the tank was too close to E, you know. So big serve from Jannik again out wide and forehand cross court. Djokovic playing good defense here. And Djokovic again draws a forehand error going down the line. He's won a few points off that play today. I think 3 points total he won going deep down the line into the forehand corner off Sinner, and he's drawn some errors with that play. 15-all. Second serve from Jannik. Can Novak flip this thing right here? That's a return blast from Novak. And Djokovic slice to mix up things. Good rally from Novak right here. Another slice. And he draws another error from Jannik. Here's that little dip from Jannik that we discussed before. 15-30. That's how it goes. Even the great Jannik Sinner playing like this, it's not a given that he's going to continue playing like this. Djokovic knows this. He gave him a couple of errors here. There's a good response from Jannik right there. 131 out wide, ace. It's 30-all. Return clips the net from Novak. There's a nice serve from Jannik inside out. Drop shot from Sinner. First time I've seen a drop shot from Sinner. And wasn't a good one, but Jannik is not afraid to use the drop shot. And Jannik also is not afraid to continue using the drop shot when it's not working. Jannik is also not afraid to use the drop shot at the most important stages. However, I don't think he used it if he got a ball like Coco did yesterday. I think Jannik was ripped to forehand too, but he got the point there. I think more of a surprise factor than anything else, because the quality of that drop shot was poor. Djokovic makes a mess out of that counter drop shot. And it's 40-30 second serve. Jannik does a kick to the Djokovic backhand, and now Jannik slices. Djokovic goes down the line. That's the correct shot there, but he overcooks the ball slightly. Goes long, and Jannik holds 2-all. This is probably the worst service game from Jannik so far, this one. But he still survived without facing a break point. Are you guys excited for Muchova-Noskova? Who's excited for Muchova against Noskova? I can't think about that right now. Because they blended it in. That's why I brought it up. I'm getting a regular TV feed over here. Nice serve from Novak, 15-love. Oh, thank you, Oaken Shield. I appreciate you, man. Or woman, I don't know. Thank you. All right, 15-all. Novak misses a forehand into the net. It's got to be careful. Like I said earlier, that second serve percentage for Novak, points won, is the scariest thing right now for him in this match. He needs to increase that percentage big time. Jannik ripping. And again, overpowers Novak. It's that backhand so deep. Novak loses balance, falls backwards. 15-30. Yeah, that ball's coming through. Djokovic caught that late. You can see in the slow-mo footage. Jannik overpowering Novak with that backhand. Another second serve for Novak. Danger right here. Because he's having trouble winning points off the second serve. So another big second serve, very long. And Novak dictating from the baseline. Jannik Sinner playing good defense. Sinner goes down the line. A forehand cross court. And Djokovic from outside the singles line overhits the forehand long. 15-40 is just too much pressure from Jannik off that second serve. Even though it was a good second serve, it's just so brutal. Sinner is so brutal on the return. I mean, it's insane. It's absolutely insane how good of a returner this guy is. And you know, you might not see it when you watch him play, other than when you watch him break, because it's not like that he's hitting return winners off serves. No, it's not like that, but it's rather that he hits with a lot of penetration on the return and not only neutralizes the point, but also puts the other opponent on the back foot, makes him fall back a little bit, and then he blasts on the second shot after the return. And it's tough. Again, second serve. It's going to be tough for Novak to get out of this game. Second serve. Again, Djokovic goes strong on that second serve, 114, and gets the point. That's what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to blast that second serve like a first serve. Don't want to just kick it in. The risk factor is higher, so that, you know, might backfire for sure. 30-40, one break point left. It's a big first serve from Novak there and saves the second break point. Deuce. That's a fantastic question, John Tobin. I'll get into that in a sec. Hold on. On the changeover, I'll get into that. That's a nice point for Novak again. Good backhand. Down the cross-court winner. That's a beautiful shot there. Good technique there. Look at that. Add in. Big serve from Novak. And again, the cross-court backhand, winning him a lot of points today. Whoa. What a laser beam. Speaking of backhands, the laser beam cross-court backhand winner from Sinner. Just absolutely whips that thing like a slingshot. And Djokovic is very close to the ball, actually. Djokovic is here. The ball is here, and yet the thing is so fast, Djokovic can't even make a move or react to it. It's an insane winner from Sinner right there. Great serve by Djokovic out wide. And a very long forehand. Not sure if he meant for it to be that long, but he gets it in. And it's add in. And Yannick overhits the forehand. Djokovic holds. A crucial hold for Novak right there. Because Yannick was putting pressure on Novak, returning well. And at 15, those couple of points at 15-40 were crucial for Novak. 3-2 second set, no breaks. Okay, let me get into that question. That was a really good one about Djokovic 10 years ago. Let me find it. Hold on a second. I'll get into that now. Djokovic, where is it? I can't find it. Hold on. Where is it? Djokovic 10 years ago. Hold on. Oh, here it goes. Novak is... Oh, wait. That's not it. Oh, okay, here we go. How does Djokovic level nowadays compared to his level 10 years ago? He doesn't seem much worse to me. Well, you're right about not being much worse. Like, it's hard to even see a difference, right? So again, we're talking about percentages, small percentages that we might not even be able to see, but it is 100% fact that Novak Djokovic is physically not at the same level he was 10 years ago. There's absolutely no argument there. I mean, he said it himself. Like, he's had physical issues with endurance, maybe even with speed, small percentages, even although it's not, I can't see any difference, but maybe there is, I don't know. You know, when it comes to power, I think that's a little bit different because Novak continues to optimize his technique and work on it, and he's serving faster than he has 10 years ago, and he might be, or he probably is hitting forehands and backhands faster than he was 10 years ago. Despite that, his physical level has decreased. So that's just the natural way of the way a body of a tennis player goes. You're not the same at 39 as you were with 29. You know, a lot of times players will say, like, I would beat myself, a younger version of myself, I would beat myself because I'm mentally stronger. So certainly, if you put 39-year-old Novak against 29-year-old Novak, because the 39-year-old Novak has maybe improved mentally or has, it's so complicated. Like, I don't know, maybe that guy has a chance against young Novak. So listen, fact is, love 15 right here and love 30. Djokovic putting pressure on the Sinner serve. Just to close it off, I think the key factor is the endurance and the ability to last long in Grand Slam tournaments. That's been the big problem for Novak. Anything else are such small percentage points that are not even visible to me, or I don't think to anyone. So he's still very, very, very good. But he hasn't been that great in semifinals of slams last couple of years. All right, love 30. You can flip the whole thing right here. Big serve from Jannik. Djokovic gets it back in play. Jannik knocks off that backhand. Short return with a backhand cross-court winner, 15-30. A lot of people compare Jannik Sinner to Novak Djokovic. I don't see any similarities at all. Completely different styles of play. Jannik Sinner is like, for sure, the game is more based around his serve. It's the correct shot from Novak, but I think he was a little bit too close to it. He went down the line for a winner. He looked a tad jammed on that backhand, misses it wide. 30 all. Yeah, Hitting Dave says Novak at 36 did say he would easily beat his prime self. It's a nice serve from Jannik there. Clutch serve, 40-30. Novak at 36 did say he would easily beat his prime self, and I believe it. You know your own weaknesses and what you don't want to face better than anyone else. Yeah, of course. Like I said, you improve as a player, especially of this caliber. So that's true. However, that's just one match. You have to take the whole context into the equation of playing an entire Grand Slam and gassing out towards the end. That's the problem for Novak right now, and that's age-related. That wasn't a problem at 29. He didn't gas out in the semis at 29. And hold Sinner from love 30. That's a monster hold from Sinner. ATP 10101, you're right, man. The age is something you can't fight, but as I repeat it again, I think Novak Djokovic at this age is the greatest athlete at the age of 39 in the history of all sports. Name me somebody else at 39 doing what Djokovic is doing right now. double fault, but you notice the speed on that double fault. 119 mile an hour second serve. And there's a reason for that, because if he just hits a normal second serve, he's in trouble in this match, Novak. So that's been the story of this match. It's the second serve points for Djokovic. That's been the story of this match. And there he goes again, down the line backhand attempt, wide, love 30. He's in trouble right away. Oh, you guys are naming a bunch of other guys. And Messi, LeBron, Ovechkin, Ronnie O'Sullivan, who else? Yeah, all fantastic at their age, but stack it up against Nole, head to head, sport to sport, Nole wins. No arguments there. That's a nice forehand there from Novak, cross court. Jannik is staring at the court, probably a bad bounce. He goes there and corrects the grass. 15-30. Listen, Messi, you got to win that thing first. I mean, he's doing good, but... And mind you, I don't know anything about these other sports. So, listen, I'm trying to be a little like... maybe I shouldn't say of all sports. Let's just say Novak is the greatest tennis player of all time at the age of 38. Nobody's ever played tennis better at 39 than Novak. Let's just leave it there. Let's leave Messi out of here. We don't want Messi in here, please. We'll just keep it strictly tennis. Second serve. This is super interesting what will happen here. What will Novak do? Will he blast the second serve? It's a high-risk play, could double fault. He blasts it somewhat. It's 108, and he's in a rally. It's a short ball for Sinner. He rips the backhand cross court, and he wins the point, 15-40. I'm telling you, that's been the story of the match. He just can't, unless he hits the second serve so aggressive that it's almost like a first serve. He's been losing so many points off the second serve. It's just like he's on the... He just can't get ahead in the rally. And Cahill is standing up. And Vagnozzi is standing up. They know this is a key moment. And again, first serve going long, second serve Djokovic. If that first serve deserts him, he has a nightmare time holding serve. That's another huge second serve from Novak, 110. And he hits it wide and hits a cross-court backhand into the open court, 30-40. Yeah, said Liechtenstein. I agree with you. Novak still making every slam semi is the insane part. It's one thing to get one great result, but to maintain the level is otherworldly. That's exactly my point, you know? Like Jimmy Connors did it, Federer did it, like quarters, Connors made the semis. No, Djokovic is still like literally at the top of the game. Like he makes semis close to every time and he even made a final and beat the #1 player in the world. Like it's insane. Drop shot Sinner, and he breaks. This is so funny. You know, it's like Sinner with his drop shots cracks me up. They're like getting better, but they're not like anywhere near the level of a Alcaraz drop shot, and he will miss them, hit them too long, make a mess out of them, but this does not keep him from using the forehand drop shot at crucial stages, like break point. And it works somehow. It works for him. I mean, it takes a lot of courage. And, you know, the benefit of this is that, you know, he uses it seldomly, and it's a surprise factor. So I counted 2 drop shots in this match that Jannik Sinner hit, and he won the point twice. The first time Djokovic missed that counter drop shot, and here he didn't even run for it. It was completely stunned by it. Didn't expect it to come. And it is, look, the drop. Yeah, I was being critical of Coco yesterday for attempting that drop shot on match point on an easy forehand put away. And I afterwards said, like, look, don't misunderstand me. The drop shot is a phenomenal tactic to utilize, and especially for power players. So I think it's good that Jannik Sinner is incorporating the forehand drop shot into his game. If you were Novak Djokovic's coach, what would you tell him? Well, the only thing you can tell a player here is just keep going, stay with it, keep the energy levels high, and just tell him that it's unlikely that Sinner is going to maintain this level for the rest of the match, even if that's a lie. That could be a bold-faced lie because you don't know that. Like, you're just guessing that that might happen. I think Sinner will probably maintain this level for the rest of the match, but you got to make your player believe that if you hang on, that maybe you're going to get something from the opponent, and just stick with it. Don't get discouraged, because otherwise this is how you get steamrolled. You know what I mean? You get steamrolled by a guy, and like the third set ends up 6-1 or 6-2. So another great point by Sinner there to start the service game off. Oh, I meant more tactically, where he can do different. Nothing. He's doing correct tactics, Djokovic. He's applying the correct tactics. He's going harder on the second serve, but it's a risk factor to that because that's not his normal game. Djokovic's not a player that hits risky second serves. He's doing everything right, Djokovic. He's just too good for Jannik right now. The only thing I would do probably, now that you bring it up, is experiment with return positioning and give Sinner different looks. Stand further back, stand at different locations laterally. That's what I would do, probably some different maybe positioning even in the baseline rallies. Maybe throw in some more drop shots, serve and volley, try to break the rhythm. There are certain things that you can do, certainly. But look at this service game from Sinner. What are you going to do here? Like, what are you going to do? The guy is like literally unbreakable right now when he's serving at this level. He's delivering these incredible serves in very precise, acute locations in the court, and you just can't do much. Look at that. Look at that service game from Jannik. It's literally like maybe 90 seconds of just incredible serve precision and power. Well, Anna, the difference here is that you're saying probably not going to replicate the magic of the AO. Could be straight sets today unless something drastically changes. Well, look, like I said in the intro, it's like the big question mark, will we see top-level Sinner? We don't know, because we didn't see top-level Sinner in Australia, so it's not a given that we see top-level Sinner, but the chances of we seeing him is high based on past performances from Sinner in these type of matches. So now we see top-level Sinner, and we also see a similar result to like, okay, let's see, the last year Wimbledon, Australian Open, 2000, and where was it? No, that was a little bit different. That was 2024, but where else did they play? They played at Roland Garros, right, in the semis. It was similar. Last year Wimbledon. I think US Open was Alcaraz, Djokovic semi. So we've seen this before. It's not something new. It's just Djokovic has a hard time with Sinner. Thank you, David, for the super chat. I appreciate you, man. I missed that shot from Sinner. Let me see this. It's a running forehand pass. Oh, it's a lob. Nice. It's a beautiful lob from Jannik there. Beautiful lob from Jannik. And Djokovic with a thumbs up. And there's a nice serve from Novak down the tee, and he holds. Sinner will serve for the set at 5-4. Okay, David, It says, are you surprised with the level of Sinner today? He hasn't been near this level all tournament. That's what I was talking about. Like, I'm not surprised by it because I've seen this before, and I've seen it from many other great champions, and that is like they don't play their best in the early stages of Grand Slams. They might even sometimes be close to losing, and then they find their best tennis and surprise everyone in the semifinal or the final, and they win the Grand Slam. Like, that's one attribute of that a lot of great champions have in common. So we've seen this from Sinner before, not playing his best early in the Grand Slam and then finding his best tennis towards the end. So I'm not surprised at the level. No, I'm not surprised at it. Certainly not. This is the Sinner rampage from Indian Wells to Rome this year. He's so back. I don't know. Listen, I don't know about rampage. Let's see what let's go match by match. That was close to an ace from Yannick there. Missed a little bit wide. Second serve. The monster second serve from Yannick there. The exceptional footwork to get himself in position for that forehand. Slips a little bit, but recovers. And Djokovic slips. Both guys slipping. What defense from Yannick. Like, Yannick's defensive skills and his footwork are so incredibly good, so through the roof, the athleticism. I don't think we talk about it enough, what an athlete Sinner is. I think because like it's not as graceful as like a Alcaraz maybe or a Djokovic on the court, the way he moves, but the level of athleticism is like the same as Alcaraz or Djokovic in my eyes for Sinner. I don't see Sinner being a worse mover than Alcaraz or Djokovic. Not at all. He moves exceptionally well. Djokovic goes down the line with that forehand, misses wide. 30 love for Sinner. 2 points away from the second set. Sinner goes down to T, misses a little bit wide, second serve. Djokovic goes hard into the Sinner backhand. Sinner rips into the Djokovic backhand. It's moving Djokovic around, and now Djokovic with some uncharacteristic errors. I think he's forcing a little bit that forehand. That goes hard into the backhand corner, misses into the net. 2 consecutive forehand errors from Novak. So, like, when you talk about like the tank being a little bit empty, like this could be it. Like situations like this where just Novak is just a little bit, the energy level is just a little bit low here, lower than normal. And it's a love hold from Sinner. No chance for Djokovic in this return game. Sinner rock solid on his serve. And he's up 2 sets to love. Guys, we're going to take a little break. I'll be right back. You guys stay put, okay? We'll be right back, guys. Guys, I missed that first point. What happened there? It was love 15, now it's love 30. Djokovic in trouble right away on the serve. I missed the first point. What did Djokovic do on the first point? I'll rewind later in the changeover, but what happened on the first point? It's a nice point from Djokovic there, and he puts away the Djoko smash. Big serve down the tee, inside out forehand. We're going to get into the stats of the second set in a second, see if they change from the first set. That's going to be interesting to see. But let's first see if Djokovic gets out of this game right here. Big backhand there from Sinner. Big hitting from Sinner. Huge rips. Look at that. That's incredible. Absolutely blasting the backhand. And it's 15-40. Wow. Right away, breakpoint chances. Right away, breakpoint chances for Sinner. Incredible. And Troitsky is just like shaking his head. He's like, what can you do? It's just too good. I guarantee you that's what Victor is saying right there. So first set, remember, well, let's get into this after this game. Let's not get distracted now. We'll get into it after the game. 15-40. Let first serve for Novak. It's a big serve from Novak out wide. Gets the service winner. One break point left. Hold on a second. What's this? Is this? Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Chat got stuck, so I didn't read any of that. Hold on. That's a nice point there from Djokovic. Big serve and a huge forehand into the backhand corner of Sinner. 2 break points saved. All right. Nobody answered me. That's okay. I'll rewind it. I want to see what happened on the first point. I don't want to miss a single point of this match. I was late. That break, normally sometimes guys take a break between the second set and the third set, but not today. That's a nice forehand approach out from Djokovic, but a crazy pass from Sinner. And he slides in there like he's on skis. Sinner is the best passer on the ATP Tour. Don't forget that. You come into the net against Sinner, you're going to have to hit volleys around your shoelaces. Look at that pass. Djokovic stretches and has to bend at the same time. It's a pretty decent volley, but Sinner is there in no time. He's so quick and slides into the forehand, hits a cross-court passing shot winner. Third break point chance for Sinner in this game. Beautiful point from Novak. T serve. Inside out forehand winner. Third break point chance saved. Big serve from Novak down the tee again. And, if he gets out of this with 3 breakpoint chances saved, this could be meaningful for Novak. Novak just give up, man. That's funny. No, Novak was going to fight until the end. The bitter end. It's a humongous return again from Sinner. He pushes Novak Djokovic back. He loses balance. That's been happening here and there in this match. The power from Sinner is so brutal that Novak gets pushed backwards. This whole match has been the sinking of the Nolitanic. That's funny. Older Novak playing a younger version of himself. I don't see that at all. I don't like when people say that. It's completely two different players. I don't see any resemblance whatsoever in their stylistically and tactically. Other than obvious things like they're both right-handed, and it's completely different player. Djokovic goes very hard into the backhand corner of Sinner, overhits long, and here's the fourth breakpoint chance for Sinner. ATP says, Nick, everybody's saying that he's playing a younger version of himself, meaning Novak, but they're completely different players, so they're not? Yeah, of course. Different technique. It's different. It's like when I make a comparison between Alcaraz and Federer, I don't see it. I'm sorry. Just don't see it. I don't know how you can say that. Like, it's different. Serving volley on the second serve from Novak, and that's a good idea, actually. A 117 second serve. It's a good idea, but he gets a return down at his shoelaces and misses the volley because it's the correct thing to try to come into the net against Sinner. But you're gonna get difficult balls to deal with. So I like the way Struff played against Sinner. Again, I don't want to be a broken record, but Struff plays Sinner and Alcaraz the correct way. I thought Struff played a close match against Sinner. That first set especially. I mean, it wasn't a close match per se, but it wasn't like a blowout or anything like that. And he was blasting first serves, 136 mile an hour average first serve speed. It was like the Dimitrov blueprint, what I call it. It's like you got to blast, you got to hit hard. And that can backfire because that's not, for a lot of players, it's not their comfort zone. It's a high risk. And we'll talk, if Sinner ends up winning this, we'll talk about how Zverev needs to play in the final to have a chance. And he will get out of his comfort zone big time. And I think he's willing to do it, but he did it in Indian Wells, but that doesn't mean it's going to work because it's out of his comfort zone. And the same applies to Novak to a certain extent. Like, he's got to do things that he normally doesn't do, like hit a second serve at 115 and come to the net off of it on break point. That's not the bread and butter move of Novak, but he does it because he knows if he hits a normal kick serve, the chances of winning the point in this match, and we'll get into the stats on the next changeover, are low. So a 30 low on his serve. Good return from Novak, and he draws the forehand error from Sinner. 30-15. Excellent hitting from Novak in this rally. He's upping the tempo. Comes to the net. But again, he has to hit a low volley, and those are difficult to be aggressive on when they're low, because you have to get low on number one, and you have to open that racket face a little bit. So to hit a winner off something like this, it's hard unless you do a drop shot. So Djokovic sails the volley long, but he played a good rally, but he had to deal with a very difficult shot from Sinner there to finish the rally off. And another comfortable hold from Yannick. 2-love. Okay, Joe651 says, people were complaining about Sinner's forehand all tournament, but he looks like a different player today. Well, like I told you guys, the chances of Sinner finding his best level in the semis are high because, first and foremost, he raises his game regardless at the end stages of tournaments, but also Novak Djokovic on the other side of the net will automatically, most of the time, result in an increase in level. So I'm not surprised that he's not missing ground strokes like he was in the beginning of the tournament. Why was he missing ground strokes in the beginning of the tournament? Well, that sometimes happens. Regardless, it's the beginning of the tournament. Guys are nervous in the first round. Even Sinner and Alcaraz, they get nervous. Stepping foot on a court for the first time is normal. But Sinner also decided to not play any grass court tournaments prior to Wimbledon, and he was rusty. And he needed a couple of matches, or maybe 3 matches, to get into a groove. So that can explain his level in the first few rounds. Because let's not forget, he beat Kecmanovic, the Kecman, in 5 sets. Was down 2-1. Let's not forget about that. And look how he's playing right now. So just remember this the next time this kind of thing happens. And then you can draw conclusions based on the history and the likelihood of it happening again. That's an incredible backhand down the line from Sinner with the court level camera. You can see you can feel the speed a little bit more of that shot. It's incredible power. Do you think 2 days were not enough to rest for Nole? Yeah, I don't think so. It's the cumulative effect of all those hours. Because at the 39, the recovery time is slower. Of course, it's better than playing with 1 day rest, but it's not enough rest. I think Novak, that's a great backhand from Novak down the line, 30 all. I think Novak uses a lot of time in between the slams to get his body right. And it's a lot of recovery time, and he does a lot of different therapies for the recoveries. And he really is careful with his scheduling so that he can do what he's doing at the Grand Slams. It's not just spending time with his family. I mean, that's certainly part of it. But if he played a full season, he wouldn't be able to do what he's doing here. He simply couldn't. Because, again, the recovery is just not enough. Like, for example, the Draper match in Indian Wells, like Nola fought to the death in that match. It was one of the best matches of the year. He lost, and he skipped Miami, right? And he didn't show back up to the tour after that until Rome. And there was an injury in there as well, but I think part of it was just recovery. Recovering from something like that takes a long time. And he'll be off the tour until US Open probably. I don't know. I don't think he plays Montreal. Or what is it? Yeah. I don't think he plays Montreal. I doubt he'll play Cincinnati. I don't think so. He'll just show up to the US Open. And he'll probably make the semis. Depends on the draw, but high likelihood that he'll make the semis. Sinner here making Novak's life difficult. Trying to get the double break, very deep return. Here's a break point chance for Sinner. Djokovic overpowered by that return. Break point chance. Big serve from Novak, return error from Sinner. Back to deuce. Silly question to ask. Do you think Novak is as flexible as a gymnast? He stretches every day. I don't know anything about gymnastics, but Novak is incredibly flexible. And some of it might be just his genetics, but I think it's also the work that he puts into his fitness. Another big second serve from Novak, 110. That's what it takes. Add in. All right, thank you, Franklin Raul. Appreciate you, man. Another monster second serve from Novak, 121 this time. It's his favorite drop shot, the down the line drop shot, and he knocks off that half volley because Sinner's forehand clipped the net, made it easy for Novak. 2-1, Sinner up 2-0 and a break. Guys, I'll be right back, and then we're going to get into the stats, okay? So stay tuned. Okay, guys, let's get into the nitty-gritty with the stats. So the first set, Novak Djokovic had won 29% of second serve points, while Sinner won 75% of second serve points. Okay, so that's a huge discrepancy there. In the second set was a little bit better from Novak, but still 43% second serve points won for Novak, 14 out of 19. Also, he played more points there, so there was a bigger data set there. It's probably the more realistic number because in the first set, Novak got 76% first serves in, and the second set, his first serve percentage dropped to 58%. So there was more points there, so it's a more realistic number, but still, it's a low number. And so far in the third set, he's 3 out of 10 on second serve points. And again, his first serve percentage is low, Novak, 59%. So if you want a quick summary of this match, why it's looking like this, it's the first serve percentage of Novak that's been poor. And he hasn't found a solution on the second serve. And I don't know what Novak can do on the second serve other than what he's doing now, because it's out of his comfort zone. And Sinner is just returning so good, so well, that it's very difficult for Novak. Also, there's more. In the baseline rallies, Sinner's rock solid today. He found his backhand down the line. He's hitting harder than I remember him hitting in the other matches. Like he's trusting his shots more, and he's missing less. just crazy. So very difficult for Novak to come out of this one. See, in that match in Australia, Sinner didn't necessarily play poorly in that match. I wouldn't say that, but he definitely was giving more mistakes, and he was poor on converting break points in that match. So, of course, different circumstances all around. I think also Novak is not playing quite at the same level. He was fresher in that match, no doubt about it. He's had played a lot of tennis, but having said all this, here's 30 all. Maybe an opportunity for Novak to get a break point. That's a huge serve from Jannik, out wide, inside out forehand. Novak runs, pops up the ball high. Bounce overhead from Jannik. He makes it. He did miss an overhead in the first set on break point. But I think he looked in the sun on that one. I think it bothered him a little bit. On this bounce overhead, he's rock solid, puts it away. Into the backhand corner of Novak, 40-30. You know, it's a big point, 30 all, and Sinner is just like monster serve, monster forehand. Like, not much that Novak can do. Another big serve from Jannik. Good return from Novak. Then another rally. Djokovic ripping. And it works. A fantastic point from Novak there. And here's the crowd. This could be a factor. Remember, Djokovic utilizes the crowd to his advantage. And he's smiling. Thank you, ATP 10101. 150 likes before the Nolatanic sinks. It's still floating, man. It's still floating, the Nolatanic. It's either break point to break back or it's game point. A good backhand down the line from Novak. Forehand drop shot is a good one. And here's a break point chance for Novak. The crowd is going crazy. That's how tennis can go. You got to keep your level up. Not necessarily saying that Sinner's level dropped, but Novak certainly raised his. That aggressive point on game point Sinner could be a little bit of a shift here in this match, momentum shift. Novak could start opening up his game and start making shots. But, you know, you want to talk about clutch? Sinner delivers an ace down the tee to save break point. Saber style. Back to deuce. Big serve from Jannik. Let court return from Novak. Jannik into the backhand corner of Novak. Another bounce overhead incoming. And Sinner knocks it off into the forehand corner for a winner. Game point. So rock solid Sinner off the ground today, man. Like it's not making that many unforced errors. Notice there was no continuing pronation on that overhead. We're not going to get into the nitty-gritty of that right now, but you can check out some other instructional videos. And an ace out wide. So two consecutive aces on the ad side for Sinner. And he smiles to his box. He knows that was clutch. And he knows that was a dangerous part of the match. Crowd getting involved. Novak starting to find his shots. He holds on to the break, 3-1. Big serve from Novak there, 15-love. Whoa, what a winner from Jannik Sinner, cross-court rip. And he found a crazy angle. He hit that ball right here. How do you hit a hard winner right here? That's difficult to do, guys. I mean, a lot of players can roll it there, you know. Yeah, they can find this angle, but to rip here, of course, you need the angle to begin with and be close to the singles line, but still, what a shot from Sinner. A slider ace from Novak. Out wide, 30-15. Redirectory backhand from Novak off a great return from Sinner. And Sinner really ripping, but Novak holding his own. Will that ball make it over? It doesn't. Novak hits the line with his backhand. It's 40-15. Djokovic definitely playing better. He's found something here, Novak Djokovic. The last couple of games have been better than before. Like, he's definitely hitting more aggressive. A very solid service game from Novak. And he holds. He holds 3-2 Sinner. Third set, up a break. Okay, one thing we haven't done today at all is do a poll. I did a lot of polls yesterday. Those are fun. There's a little poll for you guys. We keep it interesting. I like to do at least like 2 or 3 of these during a match. I think it's fun. But for some reason, I forgot about them today. I didn't do any of them. Sinner has been spotless on his serve so far. A nice serve there from Sinner. Good second serve. 15-love. Jams Djokovic a little bit. 15-love. %74% of people think that he cannot get back on serve. It's 3-2, so it means, 3 more service holds for Sinner, 3 more chances for Djokovic to get back on serve if he holds serve. And there it is, a backhand error from Sinner, very rare. Backhand has been close to perfect in this match. 15-all. Sinner misses the first serve, second serve again. I wonder if the serve percentage dipped a little bit in the third set for Sinner. Let me check. Yes, it did. Yeah, it was 71% in the first set. Actually dipped in the second to 58, and it's actually, never mind, it just updated. It just updated. No, it didn't. I'm getting all these weird numbers now. It's a little bit better in the second set. It's 61% in the third. 58 second, 71 first. So first set percentage was the best so far. And he is 30 all again. Forehand error from Djokovic. Sinner off balance on that forehand. 30 all. Second consecutive service game of Sinner where Djokovic is close. It's going to be break point or game point. You know what it is? It's incredibly clutch from Sinner in these crucial moments in service games. Delivers an ace at 30 all, 40-30. Another monster serve from Sinner out wide. Forehand cross court, too much for Djokovic to handle. Hold Sinner 4-2. And you know, I've complimented Novak for having the ability to find his best serves. You know, when it's 30 all, when it's deuce, in these very important moments in service games. And he's certainly extremely clutch. But Sinner is, you know, just because the serve is more, it's more lethal on Sinner often. It's like Sampras level. Like, he reminds me of Pete Sampras in that regard. The way he saves break points with aces, it's incredible. And another great baseline point from Sinner. He's moving so well today. He's so explosive. Slides into that backhand, hits it so hard cross court, puts Djokovic under pressure. He misses the backhand down the line, love 15. Now, one thing that sometimes happens to Djokovic in these type of circumstances is that he starts rushing in between points. I've seen this from Novak here and there. I wonder if he's going to rush now. There's a danger here of going down double break. The beautiful serve and volley from Novak off the second serve. Knocks off that backhand inside out drop shot winner, 15 all. Second serve again. Novak absolutely rips a forehand and overhits it long, 15-30. It's just like the Djokovic sometimes, you know, he's not always perfect mentally. You know, there's sometimes some instances in matches where he goes away a little bit. Certainly, like in recent years and some of the tournaments between the slams. But even sometimes against Sinner and Alcaraz, I'll see him like go away a little bit mentally. And I think I'm kind of get a feeling that we're seeing this now. But no, he plays a good rally here. No, he's okay still. He's good. He's not really rushing that much between the points, maybe a tad. A great down the line backhand from Novak to force the error from Sinner, 30 all. Second serve again. Short slice for Novak, draws Sinner in and hits a lob that goes just a tad long. 30-40, break point chance for Sinner to go up a double break. And a big serve from Novak, ace out wide. You know what I just said about Sinner, like applies to Djokovic too. He finds his best serves at the most important stages as well. Test, 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 test. Test. You guys hear me? Okay. Did you guys hear what I said about the prize money? Somebody asked me about the prize money. It's 900K pounds for the semis. It's $1.2 million. I don't know if you heard that. But that service hold from Jannik Sinner was absolutely incredible. Incredible level right there. Not much that Novak can do, quite frankly. It's just too good. It's just simply too good. And Sinner holds 5-3. Novak serving at 3-5 to stay in this match. It doesn't look like Novak will be able to break back. Let's see the poll. 64% of you think that Novak will not be able to get back on serve in this third set. Drop shot Djokovic. Sinner comes in, hits a cross court, and Djokovic with a beautiful volley down the line. For sure, this has been the best set of Novak, although the first set wasn't that bad either. I think, yeah. Maybe it's starting at that game where Djokovic had breakpoint chance. Thought that period that was good. Since then, Djokovic has been playing well. He overhits the forehand here. But again, it's a forced error because Jannik absolutely ripped the ball into the forehand corner of Djokovic. So more of a forced error. 15 all. Nice forehand from Novak there. Rips it very hard into the forehand corner of Sinner, who can't control the forehand slice. (30-15). Second serve, Novak. Let's see. This is going to be interesting to see what he does on the second serve. And it's just too good a return from Djokovic. Djokovic concedes the point. It's just too good of a return. No point even playing that point. That second serve return is just unreal from Sinner. Rips it cross court. And it's 30 all. Either game point or match point for Sinner. Oh my goodness, what a return from Sinner. How did Djokovic get that back even? Serve and volley from Novak, and Sinner absolutely demolishes the forehand return. An absolute thunder blast of a shot, and Djokovic still has the stability in his arm to control that volley and hits it quite clean into the backhand corner. Sinner overcooks the backhand pass, 40-30. Another, I mean, it's just incredible how this guy's returning. It's been a return masterclass from Sinner, a serve and return masterclass from Jannik Sinner, and also a baseline masterclass. So how do you beat a guy like this? I'm telling you, even the great Carlos Alcaraz would struggle against this level of Sinner on grass. He would. I'm telling you. Top level Sinner is scary. Scary good. Big serve from Novak there. Another second serve. Let's see if Jannik Sinner delivers another great return. I mean, he's got to miss a return here and there, right? And it's a monster second serve from Novak. Basically a first serve. That's 119 down the tee. That's a first serve. And that's been the story of the match. It's been the second serve return of Sinner that's been too good. All right. One more chance left for that re-break, for the break back, I mean. How many votes? We got 225 votes, and it's 64% of the people think that Djokovic cannot get back on serve in the third. So let's see. He's got one more chance. We got one more chance. I think Sinner delivers some solid serves here and holds. That's my bet. Let's take a look at the serve numbers real quick, see if there's been any changes. So the serve numbers have improved for Novak in this third set. It's 63% first serves now, and he's around 40% on the second serve points won, 39% in the third set, 43% in the second set, and like I said, the 29% in the first set was just off 7 serves because he got more first serves in at 76%. So the thing is that I think the realistic number is that Novak has won like a little bit less than half of the second serve points. And it's, how do you beat Jannik Sinner like that? You just don't. You don't beat him because he's going to break you. And if Novak hadn't played as well as he played here, it would have been an even easier scoreline. Ace Sinner, 15 love. Big serve from Jannik. Inside in forehand. Djokovic pops up the high ball. Bounce overhead for Sinner. He hits it right into the Djokovic racket, but Djokovic, it goes a little bit into his body, goes off the frame. He can't control it. 30 love. Sinner 2 points away from the Wimbledon final. Ace Sinner, down the tee, 40 love. Sinner serving down the tee, big return from Novak. Backhand drop shot down the line. Sinner lob. And Novak can't handle the lob from Sinner. And Sinner wins. 4-4 and 4. 3 breaks. 1 in each set. I think that Novak was clearly the better man in this match. Djokovic was overpowered. I think maybe the energy levels were indeed a little bit low from Novak. It wasn't like that he was exhausted and gassed out. No, it wasn't that. But it's possible that Novak came into this match with a small percentage change in energy levels based on the amount of time he spent on the court. 2 days of rest wasn't enough. Now, even fresh Novak still probably loses to this version of Sinner because it's just it's close to impossible to beat this level of Sinner. I got to be honest with you because it's I mean, the numbers don't lie. He's got the best hold game. He's got the best return game. And we saw that today. Jannik was rock solid on his serves. There were a couple of opportunities for Novak to get a break, and Sinner was delivering Sampras-style serves. Return of serve is something else. I mean, we're talking about Novak being the best returner of all time, but if Jannik Sinner continues to return like this, I think we're going to have to call Jannik Sinner the best returner of all time because his returning is so out of this world that even the great Novak Djokovic has a hard time winning points off his second serve. That's how good the Jannik Sinner return is. So you have to have a really good serving day, and Novak just simply didn't. He didn't serve well today. He missed a lot of first serves, and he was able to get broken 3 times. And that's the story of the match. And, now it's time to start thinking about the Zverev-Sinner final. And we're going to discuss this in the post-match wrap-up video that I do for every day. This is going to be day 12. So we got 2 left. And I don't see too many chances for Zverev. He's going to have to serve differently than he normally does. And I'll go more into depth in my video later on, but it's not going to be enough for Zverev to serve like he normally does, as good of a server he is, and as crazy as that sounds. He's going to have to serve differently, riskier, because even more so than Novak Djokovic. When Sinner is in a rally against Zverev, he has a huge advantage, a humongous advantage. So I don't expect Zverev to have much of a chance against Sinner. Maybe we'll see one tight set, maybe 2 tight sets at the max, but I expect a straight set victory from Jannik in this one. But we shall see. We're gonna go into a little bit more depth later on in my day 12 wrap-up. But I want to thank you guys for joining this live. It's been great. The matches, ever since like the quarterfinals on the bottom half of the draw, the ones that had to be played, the last 2, and this was after the FAA match, it's been a little bit underwhelming, right? We had straight set victories galore, We had straight set victories galore. 2 today. And then we had the Ferry Kaboli, and we had the, oh man, now I'm being put to the test. What was the other one? It was Zverev Fritz. There, I got it. It was Kaboli Ferry, straight sets. That was interesting, though. I thought that was an interesting match. It was a dramatic match, even though it was straight sets, especially that second set. Third set, not so much. And then Zverev Fritz, I don't think Fritz was at his best, but still, it was a little bit of a not that exciting of a match. And now today, 2 straight set victories. Zverev taking Ferry out in straight sets. First set was interesting, and then Ferry not really much of a chance, and Sinner Djokovic 4-4-4. So unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be that much more dramatic in the final. I think it's going to be pretty straightforward too. So that's what happens in Grand Slam. Sometimes you see epic matches, but you don't see epic matches the entire way through. You can't get greedy like that. People were complaining about the Roland Garros final between Kaboli and Zverev to have been lesser in quality compared to the 2025 final. But I still thought that was a phenomenal final and very entertaining. But you have to accept that in tennis, sometimes a guy is just too good and he's showcasing his level and he's destroying the other guy, like Sinner did in Madrid against Zverev, where he beat him 2-1. I don't think we'll see 2-1 in the final, but I think it's going to be straightforward. And naturally, people are going to start saying that tennis is boring. Tennis is, we need Alcaraz back and all that. But that's just my gut feeling on the final. We have to see. It could be super interesting. You never know in a game of tennis. You never know what's going to happen. So that's why we got to tune in. We got to watch. And we're going to go from there. Look, I'm going to be here tomorrow morning for the women's final. Let's check what time it is. I think it's at 8:30, but I could be wrong. I'm going to check the order of play for tomorrow real quick. And then we're going to log out of here. Make sure you subscribe to Intuitive Tennis. Make sure you catch my video later. We're going to wrap up day 12. And tomorrow morning, the final will be at... Okay. 8 a.m. is the doubles. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. 8 a.m. is the doubles, and followed by Mukhovanovskого, but it's 4 o'clock England time, so now I'm going to have to do the math. Guys, what is 4 o'clock England time in Eastern time? Can you guys tell me? 4 o'clock. Let me put it in there. 4 p.m. in Eastern time. Let's see here what it is. So it says here 12. Can that be? Oh no, it's 11. It's 11. Is that correct? 11? I got 11 here. Is that correct, guys? Reba says 12. Is it 11 or 12? 4 o'clock in, it's 11. All right, cool. So I'll see you guys 11 o'clock tomorrow here for the women's final. And we'll go from there. Again, thank you for joining this live. It was fun. And I will see you guys in the next one, okay? Take care.
you.